What does minimalism mean? Does minimalism have anything to do with the number of perfumes I have? And she immediately said to me, Priscilla, you cannot be a minimalist. Minimalism, although has become this trendy topic, everyone is trying to be minimalistic. Is there a particular number that is tied to perfumes for you to say you're minimalist? It's not about what you have or how much you have, it's about what you do with what you have. I don't know if I wear fragrances every day of the year, but I probably do. I'm just never going to stop buying fragrances. How about your perfumes, Priscilla? Like, are you ever going to be a minimalist? So my people, welcome back to my channel. And if it's your first time seeing my face, then salutations. My name is Priscilla, aka Prissy, aka Cece, aka Ila, aka Silla, aka Miss Prissy baby. And I make videos to help you smell good, look good, and feel good. So if that's something you're interested in, then please consider subscribing, like this video, and let's get right into the video of today. Start off by saying, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please stop for me hard to get. Please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of September, so I really appreciate if you subscribe. Now, in today's video, it's kind of like a chit chat check-in video. You know, I do like to talk about fragrances on my channel, but I also like to bring a bit of balance, you know, to these videos as well by also occasionally doing check-in videos, you know, and talking about topics that, you know, I sit down and reflect on, you know, during my personal time. These are things I think about, these are things I reflect on. And more something that I have been thinking about and reflecting on is minimalism, especially with my growing love for perfumes and my growing perfume collection. You know, minimalism is something that I've been thinking more and more about. Now, I was talking to my cousin and I was saying to her that, you know, I don't know if I could ever be a minimalist. And she immediately said to me, Priscilla, you cannot be a minimalist. And that just got me thinking, can I not? You know, I do like quirky things. I do like, you know, bits and bobs. I mean, if you look at the background of this video, you can tell that I do like bits and bobs in places. I do like them arranged. Everything has its place, but I do like bits and bobs. But with my clothes, I have been doing a lot of decluttering. I have been trying to build a capsule wardrobe. I'm trying to declutter. I'm donating stuff. And I was looking at my perfumes and I'm like, whilst I am trying to declutter my clothing, you know, my clothes, I don't know if I am necessarily applying that same attitude to my perfumes. And it made me to think, if you're trying to become more and more minimalist with your clothing, how about your perfumes, Priscilla? Like, are you ever going to be a minimalist? So the question I ask myself is, am I ever going to be a minimalist with my perfumes? You know, especially because I also review fragrances. What does minimalism mean? Now, for starters, I have done a bit of research, and minimalism, although it has become this trendy topic, everyone is trying to be minimalistic, it does have its history as far back as in, you know, the post-World War II, where, you know, minimalism is basically where you strip yourself down to only the essentials. Now, there's been a lot of research and talk on minimalism in art and in architecture and in literature and in music and in fashion and, you know, in clothing, like I've said, but I have not seen loads of people talk about minimalism in perfumes. Now, perfume is an art, you know, and although you can say that the minimalism, you know, talks in art can apply to perfumes because perfume is an art, I can argue that and say not necessarily, because I think perfumery, the world of perfumery and fragrances has become an industry on its own that really boomed, especially during the lockdown. Now, some of the questions I asked myself as I thought more and more about minimalism with my perfumes was, does minimalism have anything to do with the number of perfumes I have? So does it mean that the more perfumes I own, that means I am not minimalistic with my perfumes, and I may never be because I do own a lot of perfumes? Is there a particular number that is tied to perfumes for you to say you're minimalist? You know, do you have to own one perfume, 5 perfumes, over 10 perfumes, you know, hundreds, 300 of perfumes for you to say that you're a minimalist? You know, these are things I was thinking about. And who dictates what this number is? You know, who says when you can say you're minimalist? So if minimalism, and guys, this is a freestyle video, so I'm just saying things as it comes to my head, so forgive me if it's all over the place. So if minimalism in fragrance cannot necessarily be tied to a number, then how do we define minimalism within fragrances, you know, in the world of perfumery, if it can't be tied to numbers? I mean, there are 365 days in the year. That is a basic fact. Like, you know, we all have 365 days in the year, and only 365 perfumes to use on those 365 days. Is that overboard? Is that minimalist? I don't know. I genuinely do not know what the answer to the question is. I think a lot of these questions are rhetoric, because I have asked myself these questions and I do not have the answers, and I can't really find the answers anywhere on the internet where, you know, I can put in how many perfumes do I have to own to be minimalist. There are no answers to these questions. But if we look at the definition of minimalism, and it means that you're stripping down to the essentials, then I think there are more and more ways, or there are tips that one could use or apply to fragrances to then become more and more minimalistic. Not necessarily by the numbers, but just in the way that you buy, you use, and you enjoy your fragrances. And I think those are the things I want to share with you today. How can you be more minimalistic with your fragrances? No one is striving for perfection. I think minimalism and being minimalistic is, you know, it's going to be more of a journey than a destination. For me personally, I think it's going to be a journey more than a destination, because if I say it's a destination, then I think the first step would be to say I would never buy any more fragrances. But that is impossible, because that's not going to happen. I'm just never going to stop buying fragrances. I'm always going to want to try things, and as much as new things come out every day, I am a human being and I'm going to have the urge to try these things, to own new things, even with my clothing, you know. But I think there are very different tips to becoming more minimalistic with the way that we use our fragrance. So the first tip I want to share with you is to buy quality over quantity. Now, as much as having so many fragrances can look good, I think having so many fragrances that you do not like, it takes up your space, it takes up your physical space, and it also takes up a lot of mental space, you know, especially for somebody like me who lives in England. And you know, the way spaces are designed in England, you have to learn how to use them effectively, efficiently, to maximize space and storage. So you do not want your home, you do not want your space filled with things that you do not like, because all those things just take energy, and if they're not bringing any form of positivity, they do not spark any joy in your life. Let me use Maria Kondo's, you know, terminology. Then what's the point of owning them? What's the point of, you know, allowing those fragrances into your space? I mean, for the time when you bought them, if they did bring you joy at some point, that is fine. But as soon as they stop bringing you joy, then you need to, you know, let them go. And it's more about quality over quantity. So you do not need to own 12 fragrances. If you can own 1, 2, 3 that give you, you know, exactly what you're looking for, or cater to your lifestyle. You know, you can have a daytime fragrance, a nighttime fragrance, a bedtime fragrance, you know, fragrances that cater to the essentials, like the building blocks, the capsules of your life. Then I think that would be fine, as opposed to just buying so many fragrances that you end up not using and they just go off. Next point is tied to what I've already said, and it's decluttering. So declutter. If fragrances do not spark any joy, let them go. If you do not love them anymore, let them go. If they do not add any value to you, if you've sat with a fragrance for, in my opinion, 6 months and you haven't, you know, worn it, it's either you bring it to the front and try and wear it, or really maybe you do not like that fragrance. You need to question why you're holding on to that fragrance. And it's more declutter, donate. So if there's anything that you're not using, you know, you're decluttering, you can either donate it, or if you feel like you could get some coins for it, then by all means go get some coins for it. Some people also use the method, one in, one out method. So if you declutter something, then obviously you can create space for something new to come in. And the next point, or the next tip I want to share with you, is about investing in reusables. And that's, I think, more and more fragrance houses, what they're doing these days is they're creating refillables. I mean, I know for sure that with Alien, if you run out of Alien, you can just take your existing Alien bottle, that's Alien by Thermogler, you know, to a boots shop here in England, I don't know about in America, and they would have it refilled for you. So reusables, meaning that you have one bottle, and as soon as that bottle runs out, rather than having so many bottles and, you know, the impact on the environment, which I will not go into, you can take that same bottle into the store and have it refilled. Also, I know that Kilian Kilian also does refillables, so as soon as the fragrance finishes, rather than buying a new one, you can buy a refillable. So that's something you can do. You can look to do, buying fragrances that are reusable and refillable. Next tip is to give everything a place. And this is a very big one for me, because as soon as you start running out of space, this happened to me personally. When I started my perfume collection, everything could fit on my dressing table. Where I am right now, all my fragrances cannot fit in my dressing table, and that means I can't see some of my fragrances, and that means some fragrances don't get used or they get forgotten because they're stacked in drawers. And that's why at the moment I am trying to actually build a new storage for my perfumes where I can see all of them and use them. Obviously there's a limit to how many perfumes you can wear in a day. There are only 365 days in a year, and I don't know if I wear fragrances every day of the year. I probably do, but just ensure that everything has a place. There's a place for everything. And if I may add, where there's a place for everything and you can see everything, because when you see it, then you are most likely to use it. Because yeah, if you're anything like me, as soon as I can't see something, I forget that it's it exists, and I always reach out for things that I can see. So ensure there's a place for everything, all your fragrances, and that you can see your fragrances so that you can actually use them. Next tip is to constantly re-audit your collection. So from time to time, I'm not going to tell you what that time span is. For me, I would say 3 months. Just look at your perfume collection and re-audit and re-evaluate. There might be fragrances in there that you may have outgrown, you do not love anymore, or you feel like somebody else might have a better use or need for that fragrance. So just from time to time, re-audit your collection, and you may want to let some things go. You may remember, oh, there's some things that you haven't necessarily shown enough love. Just ensure that you're re-auditing. From time to time, you're evaluating, you're looking at your collection, and you're just checking what you have. It also helps you to take stock of what you have. And finally, the last tip I want to share with you is gratitude. Remember to always be grateful for what you have. Like, there's so many people who cannot afford the luxury of perfumes. I think perfume is a luxury, in my opinion, because there's so many more essentials in life before you think about perfumes. The fact that you can think about perfumes, you use perfumes, you own perfumes, it means that the basics in your life, they are checked. Perfume is a luxury, guys, in my opinion. So be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the collection that you have. So many people cannot afford that. So many people cannot think of that. So many people want fragrances but can't, even if it wasn't a luxury in terms of like price, there are so many parts of the world where some fragrances have not reached. I hear even perfume reviewers who say, oh, it's so difficult to get this perfume where I live. It's so difficult to get this perfume here, So just be grateful for what you have. Be thankful for what you have. Look at your collection and just be thankful for it. Thank God. Be thankful for your collection. Be grateful for wherever you are and what you have. And I think it will just spark a bit more joy. Remember, it's not about what you have or how much you have. It's about what you do with what you have. You might have 2 perfumes, but you might layer them so beautifully that you end up even having a better, sillage than somebody who has 100 perfumes. I have come across people who walk past me and I'm running to them like, what do you have on? There's this lady I remember very well last year, running to her and being like, please, what perfume have you got on? And it was Jennifer Lopez's Promise. It was a celebrity perfume, but she had worn it in her hair and she had very long hair, so whenever she like flips her hair, Jesus Christ, like it was literally just batting the perfume, ooh, that ring looks nice, batting the perfume in my nostril. So just be grateful for what you have and make sure that you make the most use of what you have. Okay, I think I have talked enough, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts on minimalism within the fragrance industry or within fragrances. Go ahead and let me know. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Also, go ahead and do all of that good stuff, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Guys, please like, please share, please subscribe. And until I see you again in my next video, because I look forward to seeing you again in my next video, stay beautiful, stay blessed. Hi and bye.